Hello, world. How are you doing? Rashida Frazier here, coming to you live and direct from my home office of Empowering Greatness Inc. and Divine Dailies LLC. I am coming to you because I wanted to go over the Economic Stimulus Act, in particular, Section 1110, the Emergency EIDL grant. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I've had a lot of my clients who work with me with Empowering Greatness ask a lot of questions about if they qualify or if they don't qualify. So I decided to do some digging and really research the CARES Act and also really research this section within the Act and how it pertains to small businesses. So if you'll indulge me, I would love to break down the actual section within the CARES Act. Now, the CARES Act, if for those who are brave enough, like I was, is on Congress.gov. You can look it up. The act is called the HR 748 Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act. So it's an 880-page document, but it's actually a really easy read, and it gives you the totality of the stimulus package that was passed on March 27th of this year, 2020. So I'm going to dive right in and try to make this as informative as possible. And hopefully I'll be able to answer questions that you have specifically about this grant. The EIDL grant, you're going to hear me say grant and you're going to hear me say loan because it's both, and I will explain later. Let me go through the section first. So EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan and Loan Advance. And you apply through this through the Small Business Administration at SBA.gov. So if you're a small business owner, S Corp, LLC, sole proprietor, independent contractor, you have a nonprofit, you qualify to, even gig workers. I have to look into that a little bit more, but I'm hearing that gig workers, which are kind of like freelancers, they actually qualify to apply to this particular grant loan, which is what I'm going to call it. So the term of this loan, like when you can apply, or rather what is going to be covered for, is basically going to be from January 31st to December 31st of this year, 2020. So 11 months. There is a limit. There's a time limit on when you can apply. I believe that they're taking applications on a first come, first served basis through June. That may change, but that at the last research that I conducted today, that was it. So it's like now through June, you have to hurry up and get your application in, first come, first served basis. Again, these things may change as things are forever changing as the pandemic goes along for COVID-19. So this too may be something that changes. But as of right now, I'm asking everyone who is interested and who thinks that they would receive some sort of aid and will qualify to apply, to give yourself a chance. Who's eligible? I kind of went over that. Any business or entity who has under 500 employees. So that's a business with not more than 500 employees, an individual who has a sole proprietorship with or without employees, an independent contractor who does 1099 work, a cooperative that has under 500 employees, tribal businesses, freelancers, nonprofits, private nonprofits, all qualify. So all those people are eligible. Okay. The next section deals with credit elsewhere. And this is where we get into loan versus grant. When you apply through the SBA deals with loans. This economic stimulus bill is providing an advance of up to $10,000 for any qualified business. Up to, not guaranteed, $10,000, up to. You have to apply, you get approved for the advance. Credit elsewhere means you can also apply to other loans through the SBA, through your bank, through where any other financial institution that is giving financial assistance to small businesses, you can apply. It's really that simple. But underneath this, they're waiving, to make the application process easy, under this plan, they're waiving personal guarantees on advances and loans. Not more than $200,000 during the covered period for all applicants. That's real simple. All that means is that because of COVID-19, during this covered period, the administrator, which is the administrator of the loan and or grant, will waive any rules that you have to personally guarantee that advance or that loan for repayment. It's really simple. There's a requirement. The applicant needs to be in business for 1 year, a 1-year period before the disaster. Except, this is the clause, except no waiver may be made for a business that was not in operation on January 31st. Meaning that you have up until, so if you started your business in November, you can apply. If you started your business in December of 2019, you can apply. If you started your business anywhere from January 1st to January 30th, you can apply. If you started your business after January, you do not qualify. That's it. How are they approving people? They say, with respect to the loan made under this section, because of COVID-19, the administrator may approve an applicant based solely on credit score of the applicant and shall not require an applicant to submit a tax return or a tax transcript for such approval. Or they can use alternative appropriate methods to determine an applicant's ability to repay. Simple. They are streamlining this process. They may or may not look at your tax documents. They may or may not look at other financial statements. They are not asking for it on the application. They can approve you for the advance and or a loan solely based off of your credit score or other circumstances that they deem appropriate. And it's really that simple. Normally, you apply for a business loan, it's documents thick of paper. You have to have your financials, your business plan. There's a whole process. With this, you don't have to go through any of that at this time because it is an emergency. And the government, seemingly through this bill, understands that small businesses are suffering greatly. So again, they're removing the red tape. They're streamlining it for ease. So take advantage if you can. Verification. There's a section that says, before dispersing amounts under this subsection, the administrator of the loan shall verify that the applicant is an eligible entity by accepting a self-certification from the applicant under penalty of perjury pursuant to, the section in the United States Code. Self-certification. That means I say I'm a business. I have 2 businesses. I give you an EIN number. I say I am a business. I say I'm conducting business. They will take your word for it. It's really that simple. A lot of companies don't do that. A lot of financial institutions don't. Through this, they are they have that as an option for verification because they realize that it's challenging for a lot of small businesses right now. So they're not going to get you caught up in red tape, paperwork. They're going to try to make what they can as easy as possible. The next one is use of funds. One of the things you have to remember is that this is an advance provided under this subsection, provided by the federal government in this economic stimulus plan for economic relief for small businesses. It's an advance on a loan. If you get approved for a loan, you can still get approved for this advance. If you don't qualify for any other loan through the SBA, you can still get approved for this advance. It's in black and white. What are you supposed to use the funds for if you get it? Because you can't use it to go shopping. You're not going on the high-end stores. You're not doing any of that. This is for your business survival. And it clearly says, as an advance provided under this subsection, it may be used to address any allowable purpose for a loan, meaning providing paid sick leave to employees unable to work due to the direct effect of COVID-19, maintaining payroll to retain employees during business disruptions or substantial slowdowns or shutdowns, meeting increased costs to obtain materials unavailable from the applicant's original source due to interrupted supply chain. I'm going through that. Good example. My other business, I make soap products, bath products, skin products. I've reached out to some of my original suppliers and they've told me it's going to be a wait. We are on back order. We don't have the employees. We don't have the staff. We're not running. I had to go to a different supplier. It cost more. I can use this to cover those costs. Making rent or mortgage payments and repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue losses. So you're talking about paying the rent on your, brick and mortar or your, your co-working space or your home office. You have to pay rent to have a home office. You're also looking at those other obligations that cannot be met due to revenue loss. Can you pay your phone bill? Can you pay your internet? Can you pay for the things that you need if you have equipment? And there are certain things that you need to run your equipment. Those are things due to revenue loss that you're not going to be able to do. So that's a big thing. The next section goes about repayment. An applicant shall not be required to repay any amount of an advance provided under this subsection, even if subsequently denied a loan under Section 7B2 of the Small Business Act. Again, the Small Business Administration administers loans to small businesses. They are giving you an advance on a loan underneath the stimulus package, up to $10,000. Even though you're applying for that advance, if you apply for another loan, or if they deem you worthy of another loan, or they say, you know what, you are not credit worthy or business worthy for another loan, you can still get this advance and you do not have to pay it back. As long as you fall in line with the rules of use of funds for this particular grant that you're getting. So that's the duality between grant versus loan. It is a loan with grant-like properties. The grant-like properties pertain to the advance. The last thing that, I want to just really highlight is that from a small business perspective, even though they are highlighting this, you can get it, go to SBA.gov, apply to it. It's on a first come, first served basis, but still have your business documents in order. In the event that later on you have to prove something, you want to be prepared. In the event that you get audited, you want to be prepared. In the event of any event, because as we can see, the climate that we live in is forever changing, you want to have all your ducks in a row for your business. You do not want to get caught out there. If you are not filing taxes, make sure you file your taxes. Okay, if you have inventory, make sure you are tracking your inventory, you're tracking your cost of goods, you're tracking your expenses. Make sure you're working with an accountant who can help with, getting you financial documents that you need for your business. If you don't have an accountant and you're doing it all by yourself, have your Excel spreadsheets up to date. Have your QuickBooks, Intuit QuickBooks account up to date. Make sure that you're, loading all your receipts and you're doing all these things, because the reason why a lot of businesses don't take advantage of these things is because they're not prepared to. And it's just as simple as getting prepared to. So, Rashida Frazier, Empowering Greatness. Please, you can go to my website. You can subscribe. You can look at the services that I offer. I help small businesses organize themselves from an operational and an administrative perspective. When it comes to their industry, I make sure that all their ducks are in a row and that they've incorporated themselves properly and that they are running their business the way that a business is supposed to. That is something within our community that we don't see a lot of. We have a lot of people who are in business, but it's not set up the right way. They're not making the money they can make, and or their business is closed down because they're not structured foundationally, operationally, organizationally correct. And this is what I do to help, small businesses. So visit me on IG, getting the IG site up. Visit me on Facebook, same, Empowering Greatness, Empower Great. My website is empowergreat.com. My email is empoweredgreat.com, EMPOWERED.great at gmail.com. And I will be happy to answer any question that you have. You can email me. You can get my email from, if you didn't hear it clearly, you can get my email from my website. You can also get my email from the IG and Facebook page. I am wishing everyone great luck and success during this time. I'm willing that everyone stays safe and your loved ones stay safe as well.